So recently, Ludwig and Destiny got into a bit of a scrap, and it kind of took over. It was not that long, it happened for a couple of days. I would say probably like two or three at most, but it all kind of stemmed from this. Now, this is a clip from Ludwig's podcast, The Yard, where his friend Slime mentions Destiny. I'm not sure what the full context of this clip was, but it doesn't matter because this Destiny fan basically took this clip and decided to make an entire montage about what the clip in regard is talking about. But so in the clip, he mentions Destiny's Wikipedia search regarding Israel-Palestine, and this Destiny fan made a 50-second video based on that clip.
This is like Destiny just reading about Israel Palestine on Wikipedia and then hopping in. Destiny just reading about Israel Palestine on Wikipedia and Wikipedia. Let me be honest. I know I saw her put the first in my chronic. You get to my eyes roll back like the omen. It's another funeral.
This is weird behavior right here. And the thing is, like, there is nothing wrong with using Wikipedia. Like, they nitpick certain instances from here. Despite the fact if he actually does research, then he's definitely not getting the right sources. But regardless of this is kind of what sent the entire thing into a spiral, is this Destiny fan who's a part of an entire community, like this, like, Twitter community, the Dalaban, which we'll kind of get into. I know that there's actually like a fucking chat logs of Destiny saying that he wants kind of his own IDF. Okay, yeah, we're definitely gonna have to get into this, and it's part of this entire thread. And this whole situation gets really fucking stupid real quick, because out of all like, there's a whole situation where like a cheeseball gets brought up, but we'll get into that. So this kind of spun off into an entire situation, an entire back and forth. So Slime, the guy in question right here, quote tweeted this and said, "I have made some people very grumpy again. To be honest, I'm surprised DGGers even watch our show. Maybe we really are just that funny." And he did make a couple tweets after this, like a thread of it. I also had it out with a few of the strays in the weekly ep thread, and one of them was actually really reasonable and had normal comments and stuff. Not even necessarily all stuff I agreed with, but was normal about it, and I was like, man, what a time to be alive. Anyway, I'm not a debate streamer, and thank fucking Christ for that. I also have felt people trying to win an internet argument on my behalf makes me uncomfortable, but this is my actual job. If this is your actual job for a living, to accept guys, you put QR codes in their fan cams. Yeah. But yeah, they literally did that at the end, just being like, here's his notes and here's his stream VODs. I think all things considered, I kept my thoughts on Palestine pretty close to the chest, because it's oddly a very personal issue for me, considering my friend that has talked to me about it for the past 7 or so years, namely Free Palestine RN. But make no mistake, I will always take a chance to fire a pithy line at Destiny, because it is, above all, as evidenced here, now many other times, really, really funny. Goon Commander out. And people have been kind of trying to spin this. I feel like Destiny, and we'll see it with this tweet right here. Lol, did you really need this whole... Well, not this one. Lol, did you really need a whole ass tweet thread? I mean, it's not even like that in depth. He barely even talks about Destiny with like these. Just talking about the situation in regard. And then Slime brings up this. Lol, are you okay, Ludwig's second generic white friend? You can always just not talk on stuff you're clueless about. No one will judge you. I am flattered that you spend so much time on Reddit posting about me, though. Do you jerk off fantasizing about my sex life? Is that why you're posting so much about it? And then he responds, nope. It is just the funniest thing about you, man. And then this one person replies to it. Well, at least replies to Slime's reply. Ludwig seems cool, but he sure associates himself with some cringe people, you, Hassan, and the AI porn guy. He seems cool because he tries as hard as possible to appeal to the widest set of people possible. He likes if you were to test a human in front of 20 focus groups of online content consumers and produce a machine to appeal to all of them evenly. And this was his response to the whole, why do you say fuck me for? That meme. And then he responds to it like this. And if you don't know what this is referencing, I'm not sure who the guy in question is. They kind of bring it up. It was a whole thing. Apparently he was a friend of Ludwig and QT. It was revealed that he actually watched AI porn of QT Cinderella. And it became a whole thing. And which for obvious reasons, because the guy was, that's really fucking gross to watch AI porn of someone that you know. And this was QT's response to that. She made an entire video talking about this whole situation. And and the thing is that Ludwig doesn't even say anything bad about him in this regard. He's just like posting a meme of being like, oh, why is he coming after me now? Like, the whole thing was about Slime. Slime was the only one who talked about it. Like, it's not like there was any like footage in that video of Ludwig shitting on him. But he still decides to do this gross gesture of being like, ha ha ha, your girlfriend cried after it was revealed that there's AI porn of her that someone that she knew jerked off to. Like, what kind of dunk is this? And then he replies to this in a pretty standard man. I feel like this was like a safe shot, honestly. Yes, that is a picture of my girlfriend who I love. How was your wife? Because if you don't know, Destiny is 2 times divorced. He's a 2 times divorcee. That dude does not have a leg to stand on when it comes to relationships. And the whole thing just kind of devolved from there. And this is kind of where I bring up this in a way. Wait, hold on. So Ludwig just tweets out randomly, I need help. I have an idea for... Oh, I should probably actually... Let me actually bring up the video in which Ludwig talks about it, and then we'll compare it to this. We'll watch this, because apparently this is the closest we're going to get to the video in question. Ludwig talked about this situation in which he actually, like, met Destiny personally. This was, like, a while back. It was part of a stream. And Ludwig was talking about this in reference to the drama that was going on, to talk about like how he didn't really get the right vibe from Destiny. So I'll just let this play out.
Cheeseballs. I had a fucking circle of like 10 people around me, and we were trying to throw the cheese ball into every person's mouth in a row, and if we failed, we would restart. Just a dumb fucking game that you play with your friends. But I remember he comes in and I go, cheese ball? And he goes, no.
Wait, if he hits it first try, I'll give him $100.
First try, $100. Okay.
You can do it! You're a millionaire!
And ever since then, I was like, hey, just like every other human on this earth, I hope he does well. I hope he does good things. But the vibes aren't there for me.
Now, based on that clip, obviously it kind of looks like Ludwig is lying. Now we'll see right here. Apparently that whole situation was like, I don't know. The whole situation is kind of weird. But we have this tweet from Ludwig right here. I need help. I have an idea for the thumbnail for the slime versus 5th grader basketball video. Yeah, he's just looking for thumbnails. And this guy, because of the whole Destiny beef, just comes into the comments being like, just gonna act like you didn't blatantly lie, huh? And he shows like the whole like, you know, Destiny trying to do the cheeseball thing. Okay, this is so fucking... I mean, who fucking really cares about the whole cheeseball thing? Because when you watch that video, it's like, oh, he was lying. But at the same time, this was probably a long time ago. From what I believe, this was like very like early on into I think this was like Cutie's video. And it was like when she first started YouTube. Like, people can misremember things. That's the thing. Like, if they misremember events, whatever. That's not... I don't feel like this is like a calculated attack by Ludwig. But at the same time, it's just... He really gives a fuck, but we'll just continue. So they shared the video of him doing the cheese ball. And then people replying to it. Your life is miserable. I don't randomly lie about people. You're Destiny watcher. I'm sorry for you. Imagine being mad about being a fan of a certain person rather than someone blatantly lying for an agenda. Like, I don't think it's an agenda. Like, yeah, if you just forgot about it, you just forgot about it. Like, I think a lot of like Destiny's fan base have this like obsession of being like that their favorite streamer is being attacked, and the thing is, like, Destiny does play into that, as we'll see from, oh, we'll get into it, it's a part of this, but like he very much tries to kind of weaponize his fan base in a sense. Bro, stop sucking off Destiny's cock. You are spawning under every post about him, and you are a grown man. That's so embarrassing. And he has been very much like just kind of playing soldier for Destiny. I've seen him under a couple posts so far, but going back to the actual thread. So you're okay with a blatant lie as long as it's towards someone you don't like. Crazy, a grown-ass man is slobbering over Destiny's meat right now. He literally looks, and Destiny even replies to this, like commenting the dude a bit. He literally looks fine. It's hard to find pictures of yourself you feel good about, and this ain't a bad pic. This was not the defense I was expecting, but I ain't mad about it. So like having at least somewhat of a good conversation. But then it quickly just goes back to what's going on. And let me guess, you won't learn from the encounter that Lud is just a normal dude. I like both Lud and Destiny, though I think Lud is more likable. But what I hope for and what won't happen is that they both do a mental reset for the other at the same time and do realize that the other is an okay guy. Maybe Cheeseballgate can prompt Lud to reach out. This is all called Cheeseballgate, by the way. Despite Destiny's boring ass bridges podcast, he isn't very likely to be the one to build a bridge. So all my hope energy goes into Ludwig here. So maybe if he's like, oh, I had him wrong since ages ago, he might start unsnowballing this cheeseball snowball. How is he not? He's willing to talk to almost anyone, even Hassan. He literally responded to not even a direct, like, Ludwig was not even being mean to him when he was responding to him. And then he responded to Ludwig basically being like, here's your girlfriend crying about her, like, AI porn being made about her. Like, how, yeah, that's him trying to build a bridge. Willing to talk to isn't the same as building, bridge building. He said multiple times before about people who are essentially his enemies at the moment, that while those relationships are fixable, he would require the first action to be something significant from the other party. Wait, you don't even know the biggest criticism of his enemies he has is that they never show the full thing he says? That thing you're talking about is totally different. I know when a lot of people try to bring up his stance on what's been going on with Palestine and Israel, a lot of people who defend Destiny try to bring up, oh, you're using this out of context. The context is not great, because even without context, he's still defending what Israel is doing. It's not a good look. I do know that he has that criticism, some people, Bosch, Hassan, Mike, etc., but he seems to have generally shifted to the stance of people who have hurt me had to make a significant repair first, even in cases where that doesn't reply. DGG is literally making fun of Ludwig because he lied. What is your point? DGG collectively doesn't always have the correct opinion. I'm not willing to assign lying to what could be misremembering, and DGG's stance on a thing isn't an argument against anything I said. I mean, that's true. Just that opinion right there, like, yeah, he's, like, you think he's lying, but it could just be him misremembering what's going on. And again, like, bringing up DGG in a situation where nobody's really talking about him is pretty weird. Or are you saying this is a situation where Ludwig should have shown evidence of the cheeseball thing? Because I think it's unreasonable to expect him to remember that Destiny was in 8 seconds of the second ever video on QT's channel. This isn't the same category of thing. You think it's reasonable to remember something like Destiny gave off super weird antisocial personality vibes when the video couldn't be further from the truth? How do you mess up something that bad? Dude. Yeah, do you remember your experience with some random guy you met years ago that, you know, that at the time, like, looking back on it, you feel like gave off weird vibe? Like, he didn't have that much experience. He's just recounting his limited experience with this guy. That's it. And again, maybe he doesn't remember it that well, but that doesn't mean he's lying. Wait, I stand by what I said. He came in the room mid-game. I tried inviting him to join in. He didn't want to. Then I offered the $100, which was in that video. He missed. Then he sat on the couch and left after the stream ended. How the fuck are you gonna tell me how their first impression went after 8 seconds? Vibes were fine, so good that QT uploaded them, tried to thread the needle and make caveats of you, or you could just say you misremembered. Being like the vibes were fine when you're someone who wasn't even there is a weird like stance to take on. Like, dude, you weren't there. You can't just say the vibes were fine. Also, it's a edited video. So if the vibes weren't good, they would probably just edit it out. Dude, the video is clearly edited. Like everything Ludwig just said could be true, but we don't have video. But we have a strong track record of people lying about Destiny, like the guy that supposedly sent those death threats out, which I corrected when I found out and removed it, which should be a good thing, but it's consistent. It's always some weird Destiny fan when it almost never is, despite the fact that it, for the most part, is. Why are you wasting so much of your life with this? Like, being so much of a... Like, what is this? This is just some random dude. This is just some random ass guy just trying to be Destiny's strongest soldier right now, which we'll get to because apparently Destiny basically wants his own IDF. You know why there are a bunch of people who just don't like Destiny? It's because he has shitty ass opinions and he's a terrible person. That's why. That's why people are saying fuck Destiny. That's why. I don't know what any of that is, man. I watched playoff basketball today. Assumed you're not as involved. The big issue DGG has is the consistent misrepresentation, flat-out lies, and baseless accusations. Again, when people accuse DGG of the narrative of that we send massive death threats to people, it's because of the initial blow up from content people like you make. Nobody remembers the apology. Like, you are crying so hard about my favorite content creator is being attacked because he has shitty opinions. In response to that, being like, and now people will go off of your telling of Destiny is a weird antisocial guy with bad vibes because the initial push. Let's say we get a VOD and find out you were wrong about the whole thing, about the whole image you have of that day. Even if you were to apologize, no one would dispute Destiny bad vibes take. I think they will think he's weird because this, not because a story about cheese puffs. And this comes from Destiny's own chat logs. I just had a fucking epiphany. I am Israel. I have to deal with these insanely unhinged fucking losers, Palestinians, that have literally always engaged in fucking weirdo attacks against me, terrorist attacks, while pretending they aren't. That's all fake news, and if it happens, they deserve it. Meanwhile, their fan base's citizens and their friendly fan base's international support hold them accountable for absolutely fucking nothing. And then my own fan base, Israeli citizens, come down on me for every fucking thing I do. Holy fucking shit. Fuck this. It's Rafah invasion time. Forethought, perma banning every single random fucker criticize my takes on Ludwig, QT, whoever the fuck else in that friend group. Literally, it's just like, even if you're a fan of me, I will ban you for not agreeing with me. Like, even if you're just a good-natured fan of being like, hey, like, I like your content, but, like, you're just being a little weird here. Literally, he's being like, I'm going to fucking ban you. I think the best thing that could happen is they all grab a bag of fent-loaded coke so they could go join Slime's OD'd fucking debt. Oh my god. But yeah, he's the weirdo. he's definitely not weird, guys. He's not weird with antisocial take. Like, what the fuck is this? Make the world a better place and seriously kill yourselves in a group. I'm thinking Jonestown, but not tragic. Gravitas, why bring up my wife or my family or my ex or anything about me consistently? Dude, you're the one. Oh my god. What do you mean you R-worded? Fuck. Those people hit me on literally every single random weird personal attack because they are fighting over eating the scraps of Hassan's last dump, so they echo anything they heard from him. And here's the thing, this all just really feels like it's Destiny and like his fans just kind of, like, there's no reason to really even bring Hassan into this, other than the fact that Destiny doesn't like him. The thing is that Hassan is not as big of a creator as like Ludwig is. It's weirdo behavior because from what I see from a lot of like Destiny fans about this shit, it almost feels like they think that Hassan is like a mob boss that controls his friends, of being like, no, you're gonna fucking do this. You're gonna hate on this person because I'd said so. It's weirdo fucking behavior. Because, like, why would Ludwig do that for Hassan when Hassan's not really as big as him? Also, like, he's his own fucking person. Like, if that was the case, Ludwig we'll get into it later because he kind of plays a role into this. But there is something that happens later that if Hassan was this big bad that controlled everything that Ludwig did, he wouldn't necessarily have done. But we'll get into it later. It's so fucking annoying, and they're sociopathic incel fans eat it all up. It's actually so fucking irritating. I need an IDF who is my strongest soldier. Like, this is just weird ass fucking posting, man. What are you talking about? The dude literally wants his own IDF. I think this is kind of where the other guy just kind of jumps off at. I mean, there isn't really no defending this. And what I was talking about just a little bit earlier, this all kind of ends up playing into something that kind of happened separately from all this. So essentially what happened is Ludwig donated money to a charity for Palestinians. However, later on he made a statement basically saying that he was, well, we'll kind of watch this clip right here despite the fact that it mostly features Frogan. Because Frogan does play a part into this, and you'll see why in a little bit.
So I personally donated 10K. Because I think it is worthwhile. And if you guys got some extra bread, I would recommend you donate. But I won't throw it on you, you know what I mean? No thanks. And some people are going to say that, you know what I mean? That's why it's the difference.
This is a cracker take.
Between like, hey, I can put my money where my mouth is, but I don't need to put your money there. I don't need to enter a fucking debate about whether that's worthwhile.
So kind of what, like, it's kind of clipped a little bit out of context because what Ludwig does kind of say during the whole thing is like, was essentially that he didn't want to join the stream due to, it was in a way to kind of protect his image a bit.
So I personally,
and Frogan responded to that by saying that it was a cracker ass take. I feel like it's definitely a bit too hard. Like, he did give the money, like 10,000, I believe is what he said.
So I personally donated 10K.
Yeah, 10K, which is great. And so that's the thing, but it is sort of a thing like, all right, if you're willing to donate 10K, at that point, why not join? I feel like if you just donated the 10K and didn't say anything, it would be fine. Like, again, there's no problem with him donating that money. That's great. And I do believe Frogan actually says that he could keep the money. I don't think her response to it is great. But I understand why. But people kind of blew up about this, mostly because, like, they're trying to use, like, again, it's not, like, a great defense. But at the same time, they're also saying that, that being called a cracker is racist. And the reason why this plays into Destiny for a bit is because the people who've been talking about this are the same people who said nothing in regards to Destiny saying the N-word on his podcast not that long ago. And we'll just kind of watch a little clip from that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, like, allow him to say it, so I might have to mute it for some part, but let's just play it out.
No, Dan.
Wait, reading off. I already did. There's
Notice
only one
how
that's
Dan
above
isn't
the
talking
threshold.
to
And I
his
already said
microphone
it.
at all. Even though Dan's talking at the same time as me, you can't even hear him because he's talking away from his microphone like a fucking inbred.
They can hear me.
They can't hear you, Dan, because you're not even talking into the microphone.
Okay.
If you do that one more time, I'm going to say the N-word.
Is it actually on your channel or his channel?
It's my channel.
What's up?
What up, nigga?
No!
I even wait. The guy said that about me 50 times. I can say that, and I use the A. It's fine.
Oh god. Like, I had to mute it just in case because I am streaming this on Twitch. But like, just openly saying it, it felt like he was so desperate to want to say it. He was just like, he was looking for a reason to say it. Just be like, because it feels so unnatural just being like, oh, if you talk away from your mic one more time, I'm gonna say it. And then as soon as he does say it, he's just like, no, I can say it, I can say it, I can say it. It's just, like, it's so disgusting behavior. But the two people who have been, like, really talking about this in terms of, like, Frogan saying cracker, XQC and Asmongold, as you can see from this post right here. But here we have Asmongold's clipped video from it.
Hassan thinks some slurs are okay. What is this? Is this about the cracker thing? Holy shit.
Context.
So I personally donated 10K because I think it is worthwhile. And if you guys got some extra bread, I would recommend you donate. But I won't throw it on you. You know what I mean? No thanks. And some people are going to say that. You know what I mean? That's why it's the difference.
This is a cracker take.
About whether that's worthwhile?
Take. And if you're not against genocide at this point, like, keep your fucking money. Keep your $10,000.
Like, I don't necessarily agree with that. Just being like, oh, keep your money. Like, no, I'm glad he definitely gave the money. But it is sort of a thing, like, it would be nice for Ludwig to participate, especially being the big name that he is. Like, I understand both points to a sense. Like, I'm glad he donated, but yeah, I am kind of disappointed he didn't decide to participate, instead carrying more for like a subsection of his audience that doesn't agree. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like if you have a general audience that is very much against you sending relief to a foreign country, you probably shouldn't want those people in your audience to begin with. Just, it's a weird sentiment to have.
Ludwig donates $10,000 to the cause that she agrees with, and she calls him a cracker. Come on, man. What the fuck are you doing?
Two wrongs don't make a right. He was bad and trying to appeal to everyone and not take a real solid stance, but Froger should have called him that. No, I don't give a shit about like someone being called a cracker, okay? As someone who is white and has like used that word myself, I think that people that are using that to be like, this is a racial slur against white people is like fucking ridiculous.
So here's the thing. Cracker is not a racial slur. But if you call a white person a cracker whenever you're referring to their race, it is.
Dude, if someone, I'm sorry, but if someone called me a cracker, I would just find it hilarious. Who cares? It's not. But when you make that distinction, like, do you think it's just as bad as the N-word then? It's like the John Mulaney joke.
We're saying the word midget, and we're not even saying what the N-word is. If you're comparing the badness of two words, and you won't even say one of them, that's the worst word.
Alright, this is editing Fruity here. Also, just a point that I wanted to add into the video is that people like Asmongold are very fine saying the R word very clearly. So if he has as much as a problem with slurs as he seems to do with Frogan using cracker, then maybe he should start saying the R word. That's just a point that I wanted to bring up that I forgot to bring up in this video. If you have such a problem with people being called derogatory terms, stop saying the R word. Oh my god.
Monkey isn't a slur. But whenever you call a black person a monkey when you're referring to their race...
That's a little bit different. That's definitely different. Because there's another element in it of like this racist stereotype that black people are less intelligent naturally to white people. That's what also plays into that. Like, there's different layers when it comes to calling someone, like calling a black person a monkey, that makes it even more racist. There's nothing about cracker that makes it like, except for it being like, oh, you're very white. That's it. It's like, this is such a ridiculous thing to like try to talk about, because like, what? Like, if you were to just walk up to a white person and call them a cracker, they would probably just look at you weird and be like, that's fucking weird. Why would you call me that? It's just a weird thing to say. I don't think if you walked up to a random person, they're necessarily gonna find that offensive, because like, what? It's so weird to really talk about it, because like, it's so stupid.
It is.
He cares so much about this and trying to make it like a serious thing.
Was Johnny Somali a racist?
Like, comparing people saying cracker to Johnny Somali, a guy who was actively going out to Japan to be racist, and saying that it's like the same fucking thing. Like, this is disgusting. And like, XUC.
Someone who is white and has like used that word myself, I think that people that are using that to be like, this is a racial slur against white people is like fucking ridiculous. Like, I mean, dude.
Okay.
Morgan is
again
Lebanese.
Okay. Again, guys, I said this last time, chat, because I'm not gonna fold now. Guys, I said last time, chat. Guys, it's not that the word, it's like, oh my God, I'm so offended as a white person, is that it's meant to be used. They're using it in the worst way and in the way that you would want to say, yeah, that's not the way, like, don't use it like that. It's like the one scenario where you're using it like that. It's diminishing somebody's like take or their word on the only basis.
To me, what's really funny about this is that Ludwig doesn't even really care all that much. Like, he doesn't really talk about it at all. Yet these guys are just like hyper-focusing on her calling him a cracker. I think this whole thing is just incredibly dumb, but at the same time, it says a lot when these guys, this is the stuff that they're talking about, not someone openly saying the N-word. Especially, and the thing is, like, I don't know what Asmon's take on Destiny saying the N-word is. Again, he hasn't really talked about it, which does make it weird why he's even talking about this. Like, if you care so much about racial slurs, you should probably care about a guy openly saying it on his podcast. But XQC, despite being, very much against using racial slurs, decided that it's okay if Destiny does it. And we'll see right here.
Do you feel like this is slur being used in a hateful way here? Is this what your brain perceives as this is a slur being used in a hateful way?
So basically what he's doing is Destiny made a tweet 19 days ago on his podcast. This N-word got me on his obsession calendar with JDAM, guided precision, what the fuck. Which is kind of funny coming from Destiny, who obsesses over him. Who, like, obsesses over Hassan. But again, okay, if saying cracker is a big deal, then shouldn't this be just the case? But saying, so, like, if I can say it in a joking manner, it's okay? No. It's fucking dumb. It's very obvious they only really care about one aspect of this, and it's just hating on someone they don't really like. Because, okay, then let's say Frogan did say it in a joking manner. I highly doubt they would be changing how they're talking about this whole situation. No, saying this is obviously much worse than saying cracker. Like, who cares? Who gives a fuck? The only people who actually give a fuck about it are, like, weirdo fucking white fragility talking incels online. Nobody cares. Nobody legitimately cares about it. But yeah, saying the N-word it's definitely more harmful to say the N-word. Like, there's historical precedent about it. There's historical meaning behind it. But yeah, it kind of plays into it. Again, it's like the same people in the same regard. There's nothing really else to really talk about this whole situation. Just like a bunch of dumb, stupid drama. Destiny just kind of making himself look more and more like a dumb asshole day by day. Same with XQC and Asmongold, just having the worst takes possible. But yeah, that's all I really had to say about this. Now let's just kind of move on.